All right, and we are live. This is episode 14 of Leaders of the Hive. I am your host, Andrew Wilson, with...
Your co-host, Jaime Hernandez.
Oh, yeah, and today we have a frankly mysterious man, a famous guest. Some recognize him as the human body systems teacher or leadership teacher, but I know him best as David Goggins' #1 fan. And he's also an equestrian enthusiast and the founder of this very podcast. Welcome, Mr. Howisey.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm excited about this. I've been wanting to do this for a long time with you guys.
We're glad to have you on. You were, one of the first ideas for a guest, but we didn't want to do it right off the bat because you did all the previous episodes for the first season. Pretty much all. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. First question. So you started this podcast with season 1, obviously. What was your thought process going into that? And what's something you could do differently if you would want to?
So my thought process is I really love podcasts. I listen to a ton of podcasts, and I wanted to try it, and I've been wanting to try it for probably the last 3 years, and so I tried to incorporate it into leadership by encouraging my students to, hey, let's do a podcast. Let's learn how to do it. Let's figure it out, and let's have the theme leaders of the Hive. So it kind of incorporates the leadership class and mainly just to have an opportunity for people to sit down and have a conversation undistracted by their phones or TVs or computers and just try to go deep. And that's what I love about when I did the couple that I hosted. I didn't host every one of them. I encouraged my students to host every, but the ones I hosted, man, I learned a lot about each of the guests I had. And they're people that I don't have that time to have those conversations with. And so having a setting like this, I think is amazing for that kind of thing. That was kind of my thought process. And I think Benji had mentioned that there were some high school students that wanted to learn about podcasting, and that kind of sparked my interest to get it going. And of course, with the help of Turgeon, she makes everything happen, and here we are. And I just want to let you guys know that I'm committed to next year continuing this forum for any student, whoever you guys want to have step in your shoes. At the same time, anyone else that wants to try this, give it a try.
When you brought up the idea of having a podcast, what did your students think?
Some were excited, and some really wanted to have those deep, meaningful conversations with people that they respect. Especially their teachers and staff members, and it's not for everyone. It's very difficult. It takes some time. You got to do some research. I would script mine out, and as far as the questions that I'm going to ask, and have some stories involved, so there's no dead air. Which you guys do a very good job of improvising. That's something that I would say that I'm not very strong at. And so I would make sure I kind of had questions prepared for each of the guests, and I give ahead of time so they kind of have some time to think about it. And I just want to let everyone know that's listening to this that these guys did not send me any questions, even though I requested it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, my bad. That one was my bad. I did take a nap when I got back from the gym after school, so I did fall asleep, and I woke up at 8.
So I want to turn the tables on you guys because we're getting close to graduation, and I only have a few more weeks with you guys, and there's some things I really want to know about you. And so I want to start with Jaime first. Okay, what inspired you to pursue a career as a pararescue specialist for the Air Force, and how did you come to this decision?
So my dad was in the army for I think 14 years or so. So he knew a lot about the military, and he just hates the idea of me working like a 9 to 5. He wants me to do something with my life. Yeah. And he brought up the idea of the military, and I looked into it, and I found 2 jobs that I found interested in the Air Force was loadmaster and pararescue. But he also said that you also have to think about once you're out or retire, what do you want to do after? And for pararescue, it has some medical aspects to it. You help people in the front lines. And once I'm out, I want to be a chiropractor. So the aspect of just health and helping people and knowing about the anatomy of people is what inspired me to become a pararescue. The only thing that does make me nervous is that the acceptance rate and the training is so low because people, I can't remember the statistics, but people drop out just from the training of pararescue.
So it is. When I saw that, I didn't know much about it, so I did a lot of research, and it's intense, man. You go to basic training, and then you go to combat diver school, survivor school, basic airborne school, military free fall school, and then you take an apprenticeship that like basically kind of works all those 4 aspects together. And so the question I got to ask you is, what are you doing now to prepare yourself for all of this?
Well, obviously physically I'm doing, I used to live next to like a lake and stuff like that. And the requirements are like a 50-meter, I can't remember the right names, but, I started doing training in the water. Mentally, still trying to figure it out. I still don't know how the environment's going to be. I know it's going to be brutal. Yeah. Considering all the people that have dropped out.
Do you run?
Yes, I do run.
Like, if you and I were to go on a run after school today, like, how many miles could you handle?
I don't know. I think you want to. I'm down for that.
When are you going to basic training?
So I'm gonna take like a 2-month break for myself after graduation.
Okay.
And then in August I'm going to leave and be deployed.
All right. I think you and I we're gonna run a half marathon together maybe in July. You and I can start training for that.
July.
Yeah. I'll get you in shape. At least cardiovascularly. Now are you lifting weights, doing push-ups? If I were you, now I'm not saying I'm you, because I think this is pretty amazing that you're gonna pursue this, but you got to start thinking about being in the best shape of your life before you go into basic training. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, if that's not that you're asking for my advice, because I don't know too much about the Air Force Academy, even though I did recently go to the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, and I visited the campus. And I know it's different than the Air Force, but would there ever be an opportunity for you to possibly go to the Air Force Academy after you do some of the Air Force stuff? Or have you looked into that at all?
Not yet. But I think it'd be possible.
Okay. Andrew.
Yeah?
You've had an incredible senior year.
I tried, yeah.
Excelling in tennis.
Mm-hmm.
Demonstrating leadership, participating in assemblies, shining in the Hornet Idol, hosting a podcast, award-winning podcast, at least in my book.
Thank you.
And probably had the best idea for prom dinner.
Yeah, told you.
You're leaving a remarkable legacy here at White River High School. How has your time here shaped you as a person?
That's a good question. Man, time here, from the beginning, it was started off in COVID, so it was pretty quiet in the beginning, not really much contact with people. And then once we got allowed back into school, I could see everyone and talk to them. And then that was really fun. I enjoyed that a lot. And that might have carried over into the remaining of the year, because majority of the time, like, I'd get my schoolwork done, and that was fine. I didn't really feel anything towards that. Like, sometimes, yeah, it was fun. Algebra, too, I loved that. But a lot of the time, it was just seeing people and getting able to talk to them. Like, again, that one, That one was what really drove me to come to school. Majority of the time was to talk to people and see what they're doing, seeing if they're okay, and then trying to help out where I can. Yeah, and then I don't know. With I'd say with work over at Boeing during the summer, that one really helped out because that one kind of taught me just grit and then staying to a pattern, waking up early. So after like every year, I think for the past 2 years, going to junior year and then going into senior year, it was wake up at 4 in the morning. No, that's not 4, 3 in the morning every day during the summer, and then going to work, and then getting out at 2, and then trying to stay up with all my buddies, and then try to manage all that. And then once I get back to school, it's like, wow, this is really great. I can just do my work and then hang out with friends.
So what attracted you to a career at Boeing? I know you got a big internship aligned you got a big internship for next year, and that's going to help with paying for your schooling. So how did that all come about?
So I was in McDonald's aerospace class, and he's like, "Oh, dude, there's this cool internship that we have paired up with Boeing right now. You should totally do it." And I was like, sure, I guess. And my dad's like, it won't hurt to like apply. And I was like, got a point. So I go apply, do the interview process. I did good. I got the thing. And at first I was like, I didn't really want to do it originally because I was like, well, actually I want to enjoy my summer. I enjoyed it there. That was great. Yeah, I did it. I said, screw it. I'll maybe make some cash and I can go do fun things with my friends after I'm out. Yeah, it was great. I made a bunch of new friends. Jarrell, Steven. I haven't seen those guys in a while. But every time I do go back to the plant, every summer, well, last summer, I just went and saw them. I said hi, and they're like, dude, what's going on? It was great seeing them. Yeah. And, my start date for this year is the 27th. So, yeah. It's
of
close.
June?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a few weeks of summer.
There you go. I'm excited for it. Now, you decided to go, you're going to do this for a year, and then you're going to Gonzaga to pursue a career in engineering.
Yeah. So actually I'll be doing Gonzaga online because they're going to pay for my tuition while I work full time. So I'll be getting, paid while doing that, which I'll be taking morning shifts. So I'll be waking up at 4, getting out 2, and then I can do my classes after work and then fall asleep and do the same thing over again. And yeah. And then after
go Zags, I just want to let you know I wore the shirt in honor you.
I thought that was nice.
Jaime, I was wearing my Air Force Academy shirt yesterday, so I was thinking of you as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, will you ever go to Spokane, or is this going to just be an online thing?
Well, obviously I'm gonna go to Spokane. My grandparents live over in the Tri-Cities, so I'll visit campus a few times. Plus, they have my car over there right now, and I really want to go work on that like this weekend. But I think my dad's busy, so I might just drive over myself secretly.
Okay. So Jaime, you want to be a chiropractor?
Yeah.
I am going to have a guest speaker that is a chiropractor come in to speak to my human body systems class. I would love for you to come listen to this guy and kind of hear his path to becoming a chiropractor. So I will let you know. And in return, someday after you've done your paraeducation specialist and, you can come back and talk about maybe be a guest speaker for my health and human body systems classes, because I think that's important to give back and share how you got from point A to point Z. And I think that relates to some of the stuff that we're talking about. And you never know, you might inspire some future Hornet to kind of go the same route that you're going.
Yeah,
you never know.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah. So same question to you, Jaime. How has your experience here at White River kind of shaped the person that you are today?
A little, I don't know. I think it's obviously because of COVID, it was a rough start. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Especially like having my first impression of high school being online, and I'm more of a one-on-one learner, and being behind a screen and learning that way is not. It could be for some people, but it's definitely not for me. I know hate's a strong word, but I did hate it.
We all did, or at
Yeah.
least, yeah, I would say most people did.
I definitely can't learn that way. Second year was very nerve-wracking. It was interesting to see that I didn't see a lot of people there that I knew from middle school, but it was, as the year went on, more and more people that I knew kept showing up. And so it did make the year better. And as the year, next year and finally senior year, I made a lot of friends, and it's made me, happy to be here and be part of this. And especially when stuff like this, being a podcast, it was very new to me. And Andrew came up to me in English class.
I've heard the story, but go on. I love it.
Yeah, we're just in English class, and he pulled out a notebook, and it had a list of names. And it was our Othello unit, and Andrew looks up and says, I think he said, "What's your thoughts on a podcast?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" "Well, I'm looking for guests. Do you want to be on?" And I don't know. I don't think I hesitated and just said yes because, me and Andrew have been friends for a while, but once we finally got into the recording room, I was regretting it. I did not think the podcast was my thing, and especially first episode compared to now. I hate that episode.
Love that episode.
I love that episode, but it's just like it's like, I guess, I don't know how
It shows your guys' growth.
Yeah, growth.
I mean, that's just like in anything that you're learning that's new. It takes time, and you learn from your mistakes, and you continue to take feedback and get better. I mean, that's what we're all about here at White River.
Ever since that episode, we've just been going up, and I'm glad we did this. I'm glad I said yes.
Yeah.
It's a new experience, and I'm glad I took this new experience because I did learn a lot. I did learn more about people that I didn't think I knew, and especially about teachers too. It's a nice aspect of getting a new side of a teacher.
Absolutely. I really want to help you with your training.
Yeah. Same here. I get off at like 2. Like I said, we can go do weights and stuff whenever.
Yeah, you gotta think of David Goggins and start grinding out those workouts every stinking day until you leave for basic and embrace the pain.
Yeah. As a David Goggins fan, he's just been such a huge inspiration for many. But what's your thoughts on other inspirations like Andrew Tate or Sam Sulek?
I don't know either of those guys' names. Goggins, for me, I can't go full Goggins. Some of the things that he has done, and I'm thinking in terms of running and how far he pushes himself. I'll push myself, but I'm not going to push myself beyond to where I have no control over my bowel movements. That just does not seem like a fun experience. But I was training for a half marathon earlier this year. I did the Seattle half marathon, and I was listening to his book while I was running. And I tell you, some of my best workouts is when I was listening to his book. I would I'd push myself farther to go, and I'd push myself to go faster. Mm-hmm. But you can get inspiration from anyone. I get motivation from one of our first period classmates, Caden Austin, was training for his Naval Academy fitness test, and he was doing a bunch of push-ups and pull-ups, and it's like, man, okay, I started coming in early and doing a bunch of pull-ups and trying to see, okay, I wonder how many pull-ups I can do. I wonder if I could pass that physical fitness test at age 48, 49. And so tell me about these two guys and what draws motivation from them, and maybe I will look them up after this podcast.
So, I'll just start with Andrew Tate. He is such like it's such a controversial person. He's either super motivational and like a hustler, and people say he has helped a lot of people, but he has said a lot of things that might, tick off people. He's more of like the money get going guy.
Yeah.
And with Sam Solek, he's a bodybuilder. He's a bodybuilder that pushes a lot. He pushes himself to the limits, and what does he take? He's not natty.
No, he's on a few cycles of steroids. Yeah.
Yeah. And people say that's like bad, but it's just the way he goes about it. I do like listening to him because he does say a lot of interesting and informative things.
Yeah, one guy that I listen to a lot is he's a doctor. His name's Dr. Peter Attia, and he wrote a book called Longevity. And so he talks about, it resonates for me because I'm in my late 40s, and he talks about the body that you're working on right now is going to help you in your 20, 30 years from now, 60s and 70s. I want to be as functional as I possibly can for as long as I possibly can. So that kind of motivates me I've never been a big weights guy, but listening to Dr. Peter Attia, I've done more weight stuff probably in the last couple of years after reading his book, and just thinking about that, thinking about the future. Where do you want to be, 20, 30 years from now? And that's my big thing. My big passion is health and wellness, and what does that look like at 18? What does that look like at when you're 28, 38, 48, and continuing on, and so anyone that kind of helps motivates people, I'm willing to take a look at, but I'm also look at what's the latest science, what's the latest data, what's the latest, because there's so much. It's a health marketing is $1 billion business, and a lot of it's just crap. And so really being able to find, okay, what really works, and it's not rocket science. It's sleep, getting enough sleep, which I know you guys probably don't do very well. I'm in that same book. It's having a balanced diet. It's drinking lots of water and staying hydrated. It's doing some type of physical exercise activity, and then trying to figure out what that means for each person. You don't have to be a bodybuilder to be in the best shape of your life, but what does that mean for what kind of goals that you have set as far as that you want to do? That's kind of what you want to cater your workouts to.
No snaps.
All right, good morning. We are ready for our second group for sophomores. Again, sophomores.
They're getting sent to AP.
And so we are.
But as you were speaking about health, or should I like pause for this after this announcement?
And please make sure you bring your backpacks and things that you will be.
Yeah, as you're talking about health and stuff, I have been taking liberty watching my sugar, and my face has started to clear up. I don't notice as much pimples. I have been drinking more water. The sleep I do have to get better at. I go to sleep around like 9 or 10 and wake up around like 4. But sometimes I'm not blaming it on schoolwork, but I do procrastinate, and I do got to fix that, and it does ruin my sleep.
One thing that I learned from you from one of your other podcasts, I think it was when you guys had school board member Matt Shear, that I'm actually going to incorporate into my classes next year. You were talking about your screen use time on your phone, and I think I'm going to do something with that next year, making students track their their screen time, and maybe reflect on, okay, hey, this week was this many hours. What do you think? What was the why behind that? And because that really resonated with me when you were talking about how you needed to kind of cut down the screen time when you saw that the hours, and how much hours you were looking at your phone. And I think there's a lot of not just teenagers but people that could use that, where, hey, I need to cut back and then reflect on, okay, hey, I cut back 2 hours. Did that change anything? Did I feel better? Was I able to get my homework done better? Did I feel less stressed, less anxiety? And so that's something I'm going to take for using in my classes next year.
Yeah, it all started in yearbook class when we were looking through photos and adding photos to the yearbook. I had some photos on my phone, and I just had the idea of looking at my screen time. And I was looking this week and last week and last week, and it was just averaging of like 10 hours. And
Jeez.
It was so bad. And it was like I turned off my phone and I just sat back there for I think like 5 minutes just to reflect. And I said to myself, this is pretty bad. And ever since my screen time, I mean, right now I listen to music, so it's kind of high. But ever since, my screen time has been barely breaking 5 or sometimes even 4. And just the other day, I had a screen time of 1 hour and 30. And I was happy with myself. And to think that I was using that much time just to scroll through TikTok or social media, and after I stopped, it was such a weird feeling. It felt like days were so much longer and days were so much like fulfilling, because I actually put my time into something that I actually enjoy, and putting time in things that will benefit me in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really cool. So you went to Foothills.
Yeah.
And then Glacier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember me? Do you know I was your assistant principal your 6th grade year?
So when Andrew told me about the podcast and I saw you, it was such like a weird deja vu feeling. So I do not like remember you like that.
Okay, I don't remember you either. So we're okay there. But that's a good thing. You were never in my office. But I was just always curious if we ever had any positive interactions or negative interactions. I yelled at you for something, or get to class or something. So I was just curious. Same question to you, Andrew. Did we ever have any interactions in middle school?
I think once, because the middle school is going under construction, right? And we like to play Foursquare, as any young bucks do. And then like one time the ball went over the fence, so I went under the fence to get the ball for everyone, as any smart man would.
Yes.
So then I got pulled in to your guys' like office, and I got sat down at the end of a table, and you were all like, "Do you know what you did?" And I was like, "Yeah, I went and got a ball." And then you're like, "You can't do that again." And I said, "Okay, I don't plan on it." And then you're like, "All right, you're good. Go
Yeah,
ahead."
we probably got some complaints from the construction guys or something.
Yeah.
Your kids are sneaking into our construction site.
I mean, yeah, it's whatever.
Just imagine.
I don't remember that, by the way.
It's all good.
That's crazy. Just imagine wielding heavy equipment and working machine. You just turn around, just a little kid run over to get a ball.
I didn't get my ball. I'll be back, Rice.
Do you remember how bad of flooding we used to have at that old school?
There was
that
a
little
whole puddle.
Port, that plywood,
Yeah.
port, that bridge. We had a.
There was one time we had to reroute students to go on Main Street to get to the music wing of our
like
building.
around the field.
What?
And stuff. It was so bad.
Yeah. And then the out there in the portables that no longer exist out there, there'd be times where it'd just be like, it looked like a lake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then there was always that one kid that would just run and just jump in. I was like, this is middle school.
Yeah.
So what's there now? Like that area right next to the Foursquare area.
Does that even exist?
Is that just?
Okay, so we're talking about in front of the school where we had like the old basketball court.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because
it's the old basketball court.
Gosh,
And then,
you haven't been back to the middle school?
I have not.
Okay, it's beautiful. You guys signed up for doing the graduation walks?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't yet.
Hi, mate. You have to, man. You have to.
Yeah, fill out a paper real quick.
Mr. Hedman's still there, and he's going to take you. He'll take you through the school. It's beautiful, and it's just it's a really nice kind of it's semi-covered area for kind of kids to hang out before school. There's no Foursquare there, but in the back there's a nice little rec area, and I'll make sure that Mr. Hedman takes you guys out there because we got covered basketball hoops, we got a volleyball court, we got a pickleball court, we got a couple 6 squares out there, and it's, again, I feel bad for you guys. I'm sorry. Part of the reason I wanted to come back is to you guys started your 6th grade year, my first year at Glacier, and I really this has been a really amazing senior class, and I wanted to see you guys off before you graduated. But speaking of middle school, I have a 8th grade daughter, and she will be attending White River High School. And what is a piece of advice that you would give her as to having a successful career here at White River High School? And this is for both of you guys, so whoever wants to start.
So probably I'd say try to go for all A's. I mean, you don't have to. Well, you should. But one of my mistakes I did was during my sophomore, junior year, I kind of stopped caring a little bit. Well, I wouldn't say a little bit. Junior year was difficult. But I didn't get all A's, and that one really closes a few doors for you. So you want to start off as strong as you can. Show up, have some grit. Go into sports. Just try out everything. I mean, I mean, you might be nervous a little bit, and everyone is a little bit, because my little brother was nervous about doing stuff at first, and I just said, dude, go for it. That's the best advice I can give. Go for it. I was in a shell for a few years. Just break out of it. Go. It's all here. Just gotta ask.
Was there something that helped you break out of it? Because I remember the first time I met you in the last summer, and I wasn't very impressed. I was like thinking about just not having you in my leadership class.
Oh yeah. That was work. Throughout my years, I kind of despised leadership. Full transparency. It was one of the classes that I disliked the most, so I took it as the hard class for this year. Cause
AP Calculus and leadership. Yes.
Like, okay, this is my experience, but like majority of the times, whenever I met someone and they were like kind of rude for no reason. I'm like, what's your issue, man? And then like I get to like know them a little bit more, and then it's like, oh, they're in leadership. That was kind of the trend. I think there was one dude that I really liked. He was my good friend, and he was in leadership, and he just kind of hung out. His name was George Hernandez.
Yeah, I love George.
Love George Hernandez. He's my guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's been like a thing where a lot of the times the people in there have just been like really rude for no reason, and then I look in and doing nothing. So I'm like, what's going on? This is like the worst thing I've ever seen. So I go in there. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I'm gonna try and change something around here. I don't know. That was my goal. So I try and pick up as much slack as I can.
Well, you've done an amazing job. I appreciate you.
I try.
Okay, same question to you, Jaime. Best advice, incoming freshman coming.
I'd say don't spend your future in the past. Don't think about.
That's good.
Thank you. I think one thing that I learned was that if you think about what other people are thinking about you, you take less time to improve on yourself, and you should just, what was that me hearing?
No, it's outside.
Yeah, I thought that was coming from the microphone or something. But yeah, just I'm not saying don't be open-minded or be careless, but just put yourself first. Being a people pleaser it has its downsides and ups, but just weigh your odds and just put yourself first.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, middle school and high school were kind of the same.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't feel different. It didn't feel nervous or anything. it just felt the same.
Pretty sure it was the online thing.
It was, yeah, probably
It
the
was the
online.
online
I think the
thing.
online just drained all my emotions and.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I mean, it was like April that we went online. So you had, more than 2.5 years. Did you do any sports or clubs in middle school?
I did soccer once. I quit though because my mindset was not there back then. Back then I was just like too tired. I didn't care enough. I didn't put enough initiative or pride into my work back then. And I do regret that. And I do wish I did finish soccer. But I tried it again this year and I finished it, and I'm proud and I'm happy I did that.
Was there any teachers at Glacier that motivated you to kind of start thinking about doing your very best and kind of pushing yourself a little more?
Probably. I just don't remember because I was in Georgia right before I moved to Foothills, or here at Washington, and went into Foothills. I think I was just bummed out that my relationship with all my friends and teachers over in Georgia, I had to stop and move to here. And I think I was more of the quiet type. Yeah. I was more shut in and just didn't want to improve or make any more friends because I thought it hurt too much.
Yeah.
Just feeling like the loss of all those teachers and friends just kind of hurt. So I just didn't really talk to much teachers.
What part of Georgia did you guys?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
What high school would you have gone to if you were still living in the same house in Georgia?
I can't remember what high schools are there. I went to school, I think it's like Shadow Rock or something like that. But I think it had rock in the name. But it was a very, it didn't feel like a school. It felt like a welcoming home, like entering a neighbor's house or something. It was very weird. I liked it though. The teachers felt like not teachers, just more like friends or neighbors or your mom's friends. It's kind of weird. It was such a warm feeling. But I did open up after Foothills and going to Glacier. I did open up, and especially now I'm in tune with White River. I love White River right now. So it sucks that we only had 3 weeks. We're on the 5th. Yeah.
I'm not ready to start thinking about it. I mean, I am, but I'm going to miss you guys, so that's going to be tough. How was the transition, just culture-wise, going from Atlanta to Buckley?
So the school I went to was almost an all-black school. I think what it said was 75% black, and to move to here, and everyone's more outdoorsy kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And over there was a lot of sports and a lot of I don't know how to say it, but it was more not very outdoorsy.
Yeah.
And moving here, it was kind of new. I do like spending time outside and outdoors. I don't know. It's such a weird. It's like coming from hot to cold. It was like that.
So I grew up in North Seattle area, Montlake Terrace, and when I moved out here, it was a culture shock for me. Everyone had big trucks. I'd be driving around and there'd be all these trucks pulled over. I'm like, what's going on? What are people doing? And they're all watching the elk herd. Everyone, I feel like everyone hunts. I've never done that before, but I was fascinated by the different aspects of the this culture, and I just ask a lot of questions and just I'm very fascinated by it, and learned a lot. I didn't know what a tack room was. Well, that was more my wife who does the equestrian horses type stuff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's beautiful out here, and I too like being outdoors and enjoy seeing that amazing mountain and the lakes, and being close to Mount Rainier, and also being close to Tacoma and the Sound, and yeah, it's not a bad area. But do you ever think that you would go back and live in Atlanta? I've been to Atlanta once. One of my good friends lives there, and I was there for his wedding, but I have not been back. I've always wanted to go back and spend some more time there.
I think so. I do not miss the weather over there though. It's so bad. The morning it's humid. At morning it's super cold. Afternoon is humid, and at night it's always like thunderstorms. The first week we moved there, I think we like experienced like 3 thunderstorms, 4.
Dang.
Yeah, and moving here, it's like raining all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I like the rain. And moving here, we started raising animals, and going into Buckley and meeting all those farmers and meeting people who also raise animals. It's such a cool experience, and raising animals wasn't a new experience for me too.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy it. It has helped me.
That was when I was in high school. I had a teacher that lived in Granite Falls, which is about 45 minutes from Montlake Terrace, and he had a farm, and I always liked his property, and I always said, "Oh, I want a farm without the farm animals." And I always lived in a really, no yard, barely any yard, houses all in a row. And so to move out here and to like have 5 acres, it's awesome.
We also have 5 acres, but it's awesome, but it's such a lot of work because especially mowing.
I agree.
Our lawn, yeah, our lawn, our front yard is mainly flat, but our backyard is like at a slope. So you'd be mowing the lawn and you just be slowly
Yeah.
drifting down, and it's so bad.
I can honestly say now my dream is a 2-bedroom condo with no yard. But 10 years ago, this was my dream house that I'm living in now. But it is a lot of work. It is a lot of upkeep, and someday when the kids are older, I'm gonna downsize and do the condo thing and travel.
It's delightful. Man, Howisey, you went to CWU, is that correct?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right. So I heard that you were somewhat of a intramural athlete.
I did a lot of intramural sports.
Mr. Smith told me that you have some good stories from your time over there.
Oh my gosh! Saved by the Bell.
Snaps.
We're gonna have to do a part 2
Part tour.
because I got to go to class.
Yeah, you got work to do, man.
All right, but send me those questions.
All right,
and we'll do this again. I really enjoyed this time with you guys.
What is that guest for your health who's coming in?
I haven't set a date yet, but I told them that we have to do it before graduation because I want my seniors to be there.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Hedman's son, and he is amazing. His wife is also a chiropractor. She works for a different clinic, so I'm trying to get both of them to come, so you can have kind of like 2 different perspectives and 2 different, and just so I think it'd be really cool. As soon as I know, I will let you know, and we're gonna go for a run soon.
We definitely have to. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks you guys.
Thank you
Yeah.
for coming on. Mr. Housey has to get to work. He's got a job to do. But thank you for listening, and thank you for coming on, by the way. It was great having you. Great talking to you. Have a good morning, afternoon, whenever you're listening. This is Leaders of the Hive signing off. Bye-bye.